Yo, Dave, let's take another one of our theory crafting builds into a D&D character build guide.
Great idea. I'm chopping at the bit to do the ever-living one. D&D character build guide.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds.
Now let's let this character live on.
So in this character build guide, we exploit Gift of the Ever-Living Ones, the Eldritch Invocation feat that all warlocks can take. Well, I shouldn't say all warlocks can take. All warlocks that are Pack of the Chains can take.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one that kind of, builds on some pretty fun features and, winds up working with that rolling dice to regain hit points.
Yeah, so basically what it does is anytime you regain hit points, when you're within 100 feet of your familiar, you don't roll dice, you just get the max back. So for us, the things that are going to be really important for this feature are things that let us roll dice to regain hit points, because we don't believe in doing that. Now, this is a character build guide. It means two things, maybe three things. One of those things is we're going to do the character build guide over on the DMs Guild. You should go over there. You can download it for free or $1 million. Let's pay what you want. So just pay what you want. Oh, and as well, there will be the D&D Beyond character sheet down below, so you can take a look at that as well. And the third thing would be, this is a D&D Beyond sponsored video, so we want to thank them for sponsoring this video. Go check them out. It's a great resource for running better Dungeons and Dragons games. It sure makes our games run smoother and making character creation a breeze.
So check those links down in the description below. And with that, we're going to dive in. We talk, first about our race options. And we're looking for things that are going to allow us to gain the ability to, heal off of that. So if we go with Halfling, the mark from Eberron, is going to be able to help out there. Dwarf, if you take the feat Dwarven Fortitude, allows you to, spend those hit dice in different ways. The Fallen Aasimar, as well as Human, if you take the Chef feat, that's going to allow you to regain hit points. So we got 4 different options for healing.
Yeah, so usually we don't use any of the marked houses from Eberron. People always point that out. What about that? But that's why we usually don't use them, because it's so super specific to that campaign setting. Maybe people use them in other ways in their worlds and their games, which is fine. So there's that, and there really isn't anything that allows you to roll random dice. I mean, like we said, we have Dwarven Fortitude. If you go Dwarf, you can take a feat, but not until 4th level. And that's just when you use the dodge action, you can regain a hit die, which would be useful for our ability because we would just max out. And, being a dwarf is always cool. Being an Aasimar, we have an ability we can heal, but it's not random, so it doesn't draw on that ability at all. Human, like we said, you could take a feat, and one of those feats that we would look at is Chef, because there is some random rolling of dice and getting hit points back there. We have a bunch of class options for this guy as well.
All right, so basically anything that's going to give you access to Healing Word or Cure Wounds is going to be right there on the top of the list. So that's, Artificer, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Paladin, Monk. Right off the bat, there's actually some Sorcerer in there as well. But, there are other class abilities that actually will allow you to do some healing as well. So Fighter, Monk, Warlock are on the list. So it's almost everything at this point in time that's going to give you the ability to roll in some way, shape, or form to restore hit points. So
there's two classes. It'd been easier for us to mention the 2 classes that don't allow you to in some way randomly roll dice to get hit points back. Barbarian and Wizard are the only ones.
So give it time. We know how Wizards likes to be like, oh my God, I can't do this here. Let's find a way.
Let's check these boxes.
So next up we have background, and honestly, anything is going to work here. None of the background features are going to give you access to healing. So when you go to make this kind of character, your background is going to be whatever you feel like playing, whatever winds up working with the character that you're overall going to build. Anything works, so go for it.
Yeah, I mean, let us know. What background would you put in this one? Let's see if it's different than the one we did. You can put it down in the comments below.
And if you'd like to help Nerdarchy out and appease that YouTube algorithm, go ahead and do those things that make it happy. Like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell. You know the drill.
And a quick reminder, we do drop new Nerdarchy videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so come on back to the channel and see what's new.
All right, so let's go into our starting stats. And as we get to do this, hopefully you'll be following along and thinking about, oh, what choices are they making? So for our physicals, we're looking at a 13 strength, 8 dex, and a 14 constitution.
Mental, we're going intelligence 9, wisdom 13, and charisma 15. And we used point buy for this build.
So without further ado, let's dive in. For our race, we are going to go with human. We are taking that chef feat, which is going to give us a +1 to constitution. We're going to take the nature skill, and then for our actual stat modifiers, we're going to up our charisma by 1, our con by 1 from our actual human stat bonuses, and we're going to take the language half.
Yeah, in a moment, you're going to see where we're kind of going with some of this. For our background, we're going to get Guild Artisan. We're going to take Guild Artisan, I should say. We're going to go with Brewer's Supply. We're going to take the language Elven, and we're going to get Persuasion and Insight. So we're going with this chef cooking theme, maybe specializing in Halfling and Elven cuisine, or maybe they're the clientele you're used to dealing with. I don't know, but you know what? You just want to cook and you want to be really good at it. What is the best way to get really good at doing something? Is it hard work? Is it training? Is it education? Or is it
Warlock, taking a pack from some dark entity that's out there, or maybe some not so dark entity. So for first level, we're going to take Warlock. That's going to give us access to 2 skills. We're going to take Arcana and History.
We're going to have to pick our patron. We're going to go with Celestial because we want more. We want to roll dice to get hit points back. We're going to get access to pack magic. We're going to get bonus cantrips and healing light. The healing light is that extra bonus healing we're going to get to do at your level +1 in die 6s that you can kind of distribute. And when we use them on ourselves, it's maximum. And it's very important. We're not going to say a lot of the spells we're taking, but it's very important that we take Prestidigitation because now we can magically spice and flavor our food.
So that's going to work with the Guild Artisan and Chef kind of concept that, hey, you already are a cook. You already know how to do things. So this definitely makes for a lot of fun. But we're going to continue with Warlock for 2 more levels. Second level, we're going to get invocations, but what we're taking here doesn't actually make a difference because we're going to swap them out for the better things that we're looking for. We're going to get to 3rd level. This is going to give us our Pact boon, which we need Pact of the Chains, and then swap out a previously selected invocation for Gift of the Ever-Living.
Now we no longer have to roll those pesky dice when getting hit points back. We're going to leave Warlock and jump into Fighter for 1 level. We're going to get a fighting style. We're going to take Defensive. This isn't why we came here, but we did come for that second wind so that we can roll that die 10 as a bonus action plus our Fighter level and get those back in hit points. For us is we just get 11 hit points back when we use this feature.
That's sweet, super sweet. 4th level of just being able to be like, boom, I'm just going to drop this D10 as a thing. And you don't need to actually roll it. It's just 11 hit points. But the fun don't stop there. 5th level, we're going to take a level in Cleric. We've already gotten some armor proficiencies from Fighter. We already have that defensive fighting style. Super sweet. But 5th level Cleric, we're going to get access to the Life Domain, access to heavy armor. We're going to get Disciple of Life, which means Cure Wounds is always prepared for us. And
it means more than that. More importantly than that is whenever we cast a cure spell, you add 2 plus the spell level to the hit points. And if we're casting it on ourselves, which I feel like this character just likes to heal themselves a lot just because they can, it's going to be 2 plus the level of the spell and, the maximum number that could appear on the die.
And because we're worried about things that have healing, we're going to make sure that as one of our spells that we take, we're going to take Healing Word as well. It's useful, it's helpful, and since Cure Wounds is always prepared for us, getting access to even more healing at range might allow us to actually help our allies if we're not just concentrated on healing ourselves.
Now we're going to jump into Bard for 2 levels. First level, don't care that much. We get cool things like being able to play the drums or that triangle to ring the dinner bell. Medicine, because, cooking is healing sometimes, or medicine. All that chicken soup. Bardic Inspiration is great. jack of all trades, awesome. But what we really care about is that Song of Rest, that second level, because now we can sing and cook as we sing, and people will get a die 6 back from Song of Rest if they spend hit dice. They'll also get a die 8 back if they eat the food you prepare, and so will you. But for you, you don't have to roll. You're just going to get 14 hit points back plus your constitution on top of whatever dice you roll, which, by the way, those dice you roll, they're maximized as well.
Yeah, this character is going to be super ridiculous on short rests. I think this is a lot of fun. And at this point in time, we're only a 7th level character. And we're kind of getting crazy. Your abilities might not be stacking up across the board with some of the other powerful abilities that the other players have at the table. But what you're able to do to maintain is just kind of ridiculous.
And let's think about it. You're kind of the healer of the party. And if you go down, you can't heal other people. So you got to be good at getting those hit points back. Healing starts at home, my friends. Healing starts at home.
8th level, we're going to take our 4th and last level of Warlock. This is going to be our first ASI. It's a bit rough going up to this point for those, but we'll see some fun hereafter. So +2 to Constitution, that's going to get us up to an 18. Pretty useful to say.
Yeah, from here it's just Sorcerer all the way out. We're going to go with Divine Soul, and we're going to take things like Quicken Spell and Distance Spell. We're going to get another ASI for another +2 to Con, max out our Constitution. We're going to get Empower Healing, which is going to be useless to us, but whatever. We're in it at this point for the spells and the magic. We're going to get another ASI to increase our charisma, so that is going to get us up to that 18. We're going to take a subtle spell for our last METAMAGIC, and finally finishing off our ASIs with another +2 to charisma, maxing out charisma. So by the time we start cooking, I feel like we have a character that's going to be magically very strong. You're going to be a great healer for the party. You're going to have some utility, some tricks that you can do. And also you're going to be super useful to the party between rests, giving them back, extra hit points. All in all, I think this could be a fun build.
So looking at this character in total, you've got 12 levels of Sorcerer. That means you've got access, to some high level spells. All in all, you're going to be a 15th level caster, which means you're going to have access to those 8th level spell slots. You might not be having spells to put in them, but you can definitely be able to bump things up. So you're not really missing too far out on your punch game, from the rest of them to be able to do all of these crazy wonky things. Those levels in Fighter and Warlock wind up, taking you out of those 9th level spells. But you know what? That's okay. The rest of what this character's got the ability to do is awesome. The fact that you as a sorcerer can be walking around in full plate with a 19 armor class from that defensive fighting style, you can go full town on this and have a blast. Meanwhile, you're just, healing like a mofo.
We could also use a shield, and there's no reason not to. So you're kind of tanky when it comes to armor class, right? And you can take things like shield and absorb elements. So I feel like you're doing okay, and you're going to be able to pull your weight in the party. I mean, even before then, you've got enough magic to make some things happen anyway. But I think this is the part of the video where we go, how do we use this as an NPC?
Absolutely. So this is someone that could be very interesting, whether this is a reoccurring, maybe not villain, but a thorn in the character's side of no matter what you do, this character winds up always coming back, or it could be a character that, is part of another group that, every time a healing spell gets cast, you just watch as all of his wounds just close and he just, keeps on fighting. You're like, how do we bring this guy down? Could be fun. But I definitely see this as more of that reoccurring thorn, because he doesn't stay down, doesn't stay dead. Could be fun, and that would wind up fitting the theme of the character.
Also, it might just be fun as an NPC that shows up during the character's short rests for whatever reason, or even their long rests, right? And hands out the treats for them to take with them, cooks them a meal, sings to them. They get extra bonuses. and he could just be like a fun reoccurring character that pops up in weird places for weird reasons.
So
And isn't even like an enemy or a foil. He's just like a fun, magically delicious Chef Boyardee NPC.
that could be an absolute blast. To have this guy show up, just the right times. With being a sorcerer, a cleric, and a warlock, all towards this celestial type origin. Perhaps there's more to him than more to them than just a single mortal. Maybe this is a harken back to your Gandalf or your Fizban. Those characters who are beyond the typical mortal, but can't directly influence the things that are going on, and it's there to help out when things are at their dire, guide them with cool advice and food.
Yeah, like the character, like the bloodline they would be from, or the patron that they would serve. Instead, this is maybe their mortal vassal that they use for doing those things, like along the lines of that Fizban type character, which could be a lot of fun for sure. But if you like this video, you want to check out the one that inspired it, 5e Warlock, why you only need 3 levels, check it out.
If you'd like to help support us to keep making videos, why not become a patron over on Patreon?
As a thank you, you'll receive monthly 5e content for players and DMs alike, a chance to game with us, and more.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.